This is made out of 7mm balls. I have another one made out of 5mm balls. They're devilishly tricky to make. Here's a little octahedron. Notice there's a 4 ring, and then into the 4 ring go these 3 rings. 4 of them. This is a slightly larger one, Octahedron. Same idea. 4 in the middle, 3 into each edge of the 4. And this is the Icosahedron. Starts off with a pentagon in the corner. Into the pentagon you put triangles. So there's I'm going to try and explain the triangle grid pattern and how to make it and why it's hard and what to do at the corners to make the sort of the pyramidal structures, or the octahedron, or else the dodecahedron, all of which are made up with triangles. The little tetrahedral pyramid is the one we make. Now, you have a grid that looks like lots of hexagons. And the trick is that some of the hexagons aren't hexagons, and it makes a difference. All you do, seems simple to say, is you stack together little hexagons and little triangles. Now just about the whole thing, except for the corners, in the case of the octagon and the dodecahedron, is made from hexagons and triangles. So what could be simpler, right? And you just put them in the opposite way. So not that way, and they'll open up, but the opposite way. Alright, you put one in each thing. Right? The problem is that happens. So how do you do it? Right, so you put every second one in. And then you have to start adding some more hexagons. So you can't put the last triangles in until you've got it surrounded by hexagons. I'll put one in there. And now into that space we put another triangle. Okay, and you keep on in that manner. You can join them. Anyway, you can see the difficulty. Even I'm having difficulty. I've made a pile of those things. Right, so I've added those. Put another one there. And at that point you can put the last one in. Now it's a good idea to leave them out, the last one, leave it out until the end. That way it's easier to keep track of which ones are hexagons and which ones are triangles. Now you might think it doesn't really matter, because we've got 6 magnets arranged in a circle. That's a hexagon. But I'm going to draw a diagram here to show you why it does matter. So these are your hexagons, and we put triangles into the gaps, like so. There's the diagram. We've got some hexagons, little triangles going in between. I'll just do 2 of them. Okay, so a hexagon, and the triangle, like that, and then there would be another triangle in there. Okay, I'll put that just a bit lower so you can see. Now that's fine. You get the illusory, like there's your hexagon, there's your 2 triangles, some more hexagons, and that. when we put in the last triangle like this one, we get these illusory hexagons that aren't really like the other hexagons, and that would be in here. Now it doesn't really, you can't really see it because I haven't drawn a very good picture, but that's where it is, in this diagram, that's where it is. And you get this illusion of here, 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 of that being a hexagon. There. I'll put a dot. Now, the problem with that is that it's made up of these balls, and you can see in the triangle, like the north-south is going around in a circle, and in the hexagon here, the north-south going around in a circle, north to south, north to south, north to south, like that. So the direction is that way. Is for this one it's this way, and the direction for this one is this way. Like so, it's going in at right angles around the centre of the triangle. There's always it's always going at right angles like that. For this one though, because this hexagon's coming here, well that would be alright, that would be the magnetic field, but the triangles are like that. So these ones aren't pointing in the correct direction for a hexagon. And that means, one, that if you stuff it up, one is you can't put another triangle into it, into that gap. If you had that gap, you couldn't easily put a triangle into it because the magnets aren't, they're not pointing in a nice, like, one of them's pointing this way, one of them's pointing that way, and it's all askew. But it also means that if you muck it up, they'll all spin around, and you just lose everything. So it's difficult to do. Even though in principle, you're just using triangles and hexagons, it's really easy to lose track of what you're doing. Now, if you can build up a nice triangle like that, that'd be good, and you'd think that'd be how you'd make the pentagon. And conceptually it is, but in practice it's easier to make the edges. So if you make your, say, a tetrahedron, it's easier to make the corner and the edge in the middle and the other corner and both the edges, and then the last corner and then all the edges, and then fill in the middles at the end. That's the easiest way to keep all the magnets from spinning around, anyway, that I've found. Right, so to make the corners, that's a bit fiddly as well. For the corners, in place of one of the hexagons, you put, say if it's for this one, tetrahedron, it's going to go 1, 2, and the other side's around the back. So you'd have 3. So instead of one of the hexagons, you'd put a triangle. All right. So whereas in the middle, in this bottom diagram here, the middle thing is a hexagon. Top diagram, the middle thing is, like, for that one, it's a 4. And you put 4 triangles into the outside of that 4, and then you put hexagons in between those triangles. For the pentagon, you put a triangle in the middle, and then you put 3 triangles into that, and then in the gaps of the triangles you put hexagons all the way around. Pentagon, it's the same thing on all of them. You've got a pentagon this time, but with 5 triangles into it, and then in between the gaps of the triangles you put the 5 hexagons, like this hexagon. Right? And then you would build down, putting in triangles, and then another hexagon, and then more triangles, and then that would be one corner. Then you put your last your last pentagon in there. Okay. Now, it's complicated. It's hard to follow, and it's hard to do. So it's not for the faint of heart. I've mucked it up many times, and very difficult to get it all right. So even, you wouldn't actually start like this. You'd leave these. You might make this, but you'd leave these gaps out. You'd leave, say, find the triangles. Now that's a hexagon, that's a hexagon, that's a hexagon. So that's a triangle. I would actually take that out and leave it out until the end. Right, and I'll put a corner here. Start with your 4. Put some triangles into it, like that. Right, make sure the 4 keeps formed because it keeps wanting to pop apart like a tag structure, but it's not a tag structure. Okay, so you've got a 4 with 2 triangles in it. You put the hexagon in between the 2 triangles. Right, and you can build along. You can just put another triangle. Right, hold that one while you put the next one in. So that it doesn't, because it'll want to join that next one. If you let go, it'll go boom boom, and it'll form another hexagon that you don't like. Right. So there's another hexagon there. Into the 2 triangles. Hexagon, and then up the old hexagon. Now you put the 2 more triangles here. Again, hold on to them so that they don't crash. And then I'm going to put another 4 in to the end of that. Right, and that's one edge. So you've got 2 corners and 1 edge. Right, then you would make your next edge. Put one more triangle. So you've already got one of the the other corner of the first triangle. I'm going to put that one not there but like that. So you've got the square, the first triangle, the second triangle, and now a 3rd triangle. Hold on to it. Put another hexagon here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, and then you go the same deal down. Put your triangle. Now it's going to get a bit tricky. I'm going to do it. I can't watch through the camera here because it might rush together with the other side if I'm not careful. Right, like that. And now for these daggy ends, they're the bits that really want to rush together. So in between them you put another hexagon just to hold them apart. All right, and there you can sort of see it starting to take form now. It's like one side, but leave this triangle out. If you put that in, it just is really hard to figure out where everything is. Right, I could put a triangle there, but not yet. Right, now I can do the other corner here. I'll put in a triangle. Oh. Another triangle. A hexagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Ah, except this one's meant to be a square, right? So the last one is a square because it's going to be the other corner. Put a triangle into it, and then those 2 triangles go into a hexagon. And now we're doing the same thing along this edge, and at that point we'll have a complete side. So I'll put 6, put that in. Now things are going to start getting, in some senses, easier because, like the things that I'm holding apart with my hand here, will be held apart by a little triangle, like that. And here, and then I'll put one more, holding it apart. Get 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we got. Now remember we had our 4. Where was it gone? It looks bad, doesn't it? It looks like something's come apart. Yes, this is what keeps happening. That triangle's popped open, that's 6. And the 4's popped open, so I've got to actually remove that triangle carefully. Put it back in. Made, because both the 6 had become a 7 loop with that one in it. And the 4, it's about to happen again here. That 4 had become a 5 loop with, including this one. You've got to keep popping them back together and make sure that doesn't happen. Put that in, and then the last triangle is going to go in this side of the 4 and into that. Alright, so now you've got a complete side. And you work down this side and down there, and then you have to do the same again underneath, and that would be your octahedron. Right, I'm not going to do any more than that. It's damn hard. It gets harder. You put your triangles in. Be real careful, find the right thing. And you form the illusory hexagons here. Those three aren't real. Don't trust them. And then you put your other one in. Form some more dastardly illusory hexagons. You get that. Okay. Now if we wanted to make a dodecahedron instead of that a tetrahedron instead of that 4, we could just put a 3. Right, just take one of the balls out of the 4, and now the 4 is a 3. I didn't do that way at first because it's really hard to see which triangle is which. You can see that's the triangle. It was a 4, and I've turned it into a 3 just by taking a ball out of it. I've got a triangle into each corner of it, and then in between each pair of triangles there's a hexagon. So there's one pair of triangles is that one and that one, and this hexagon here is going in between them. That hexagon there, triangle in it, other triangle in it, and those triangles butt into the corner triangle. Alright, now I've already got 2 triangles going into the corner. Here I don't have to add any more triangles, I've already got the back end of the previous 2 to put it into. I pull off my hexagon. Start working down like that and do the same, make another edge down to here, join it to here, and join it to here, and this will be the last corner there. And there's a picture of that. I'll assume that I will edit into the video. Alright, and that's a real hexagon. What's happened there? That looks like a knot triangle, like a knot hexagon, doesn't it? Also. And there, see, the triangles come apart. So the triangles will stay together once you put, the next pieces in. So you really got to have fingers everywhere and holding everything apart while you make it. And you saw how difficult that was for me then. And that's after I made all those other ones in the pictures. So there you go. Admittedly, I am looking through the camera as I do it.